and I'm not trying to make the most amount of money, but I'm trying to do the most amount of good while I'm here on earth. Yeah. Because as we all know, the human mortality rate is holding firm at 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I am looking at that and saying, okay, how can I move the needle? How can I be part of the solution and not part of the problem? And sometimes actually doing nothing is being part of the problem.
Yeah. Can you believe it? I'm still here. That's right, living inside this tent for 100 days from November the 20th to February 28th, bringing to you the issues and awareness that you need to know about the violence on the south side of Chicago, but also to raise as much money as we possibly can to build a community center on this much needed block called O Block. It's called O Block because it's named after a young man named O.D. Perry who was shot and killed. The gangs picked up the O in his name and started calling it O Block. We decided we're going to keep the O, but we're going to change it to Opportunity Block. I want to thank Fox for giving me the opportunity to come to you every single day with Rooftop Revelations, sharing with you my thoughts, viewpoints, and opinions as it relates to things that are happening in Chicago and across our great country. And every now and then I get to share with you some special guests who come to share with us on the rooftop. And today I'm really thankful to have a brother who drove all the way from San Diego, California, if you can believe that, and in the midst of a snowstorm in the Midwest when he got here. And his name is Dan Powell. He's with us. Dan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor.
And, Dan, let's just jump right in. Let's get to it. I know you had a rough morning. Tell us about it.
My first morning, I was actually woken up to gunfire, and I counted 20 shots. It was like, bam, 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 bam. And I thought they were gunshots. I wasn't 100% sure. And then about an hour later, 10 more gunshots. And I saw you about an hour later, and I said, did I hear gunshots this morning?
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, it happens quite frequently, all the time, just a block away. And I was actually taken aback by your response, because it kind of felt like, to me, you were ordering a oat milk latte from Starbucks. It was kind of matter of fact. And I was thinking, wow, the response it's almost numbing.
Yeah, and and to hear you say that makes me, really think about it, because it's two things. One, I don't want to normalize it, because it should never become normalized. And I think a lot of times with the violence in Chicago, a lot of people become desensitized and normalized. So I never want to normalize it. But secondly, I don't want to be over dramatic, because if I get over dramatic, then that means every time I hear a gunshot, I'm going to be taken back. I'm going to be overwhelmed. And I'm living in an environment where it's often, it's consistent, and we're trying to do something about it. And so I kind of have to stay even keel, and that's hard sometimes.
Well, before I came out here, I was reading the end of the year report for 2021, and they said there was over 3,500 shootings and 797 deaths. So that's almost 10 shootings a day.
Yeah.
And 2.2 people every single day dying from gunshots. And so if you're just doing the math, if you're good at statistics, you can't have 10 gunshots a day and me not being here for a week and not hearing one.
Yeah, and in the month of January, they had at least 30 women who were shot, 7 of them killed, 2 of them were pregnant, and their babies were killed as well. So we're dealing with, some very tough situations. And so I'm really thankful that you came all the way from San Diego, because, matter of fact, tell us why. I mean, what makes a person come all the way from San Diego, California, to get on a rooftop on the south side of Chicago? What is that about?
Well, I did lose 50 degrees on my drive, because I think I left San Diego and it was 70.
Yeah.
That's our winter, 70. And it's 20 now here. And the wind chill's a little bit worse than that. And of course, it's snow flurries. We don't get snow flurries in San Diego. Yeah. But we met less than 3 months ago. I looked it up today. And we met, you were a luncheon speaker. And God spoke to me and said, help this guy any way you can and every way you can. And I came up to you afterwards. I said, I'm coming on the roof. I don't know if you believed me at the time.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm coming on the roof. I'm going to come up for a week. And then I was thinking about that. I was preparing to come up. We chatted a few times. And then I said, I've always wanted to bike the Route 66, which is Chicago to LA.
Right.
And why don't I bike back? And so that's why I drove out, because I needed to bring my bikes. And I got a guy coming out that's going to drive the van back and assist me. And I'm going to bike from Chicago to LA, and it's going to be all a fundraiser for Project H.O.O.D.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. And I found out that not only are you trying to help Project H.O.O.D, but in the past, you basically have given your life toward trying to help people. And I think that's important, because that's what Project H.O.O.D is really all about. We're about trying to help as many people as we possibly can. We're about giving back. We're about sowing into the lives of other people. And, tell us a little bit about what you do, because I think a lot of the people who are listening in America are going to love your story about what you're doing to help people.
Well, I have realized, and it's probably been a revelation in the last 10 years, that the more I give, the more I get. And that's kind of trite, but it is true. And I'm living my best life right now, and I'm not trying to make the most amount of money, but I'm trying to do the most amount of good while I'm here on earth, because as we all know, the human mortality rate is holding firm at 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I am looking at that and saying, okay, how can I move the needle? How can I be part of the solution and not part of the problem? And sometimes actually doing nothing is being part of the problem.
Yeah.
And it's easy to do nothing.
Easy
To do nothing. And that's why I admired what you were doing. I say, this is a guy that could probably have a pretty cushy job in the leafy suburbs and, being comfortable.
Yeah.
And I get it. And I get your integrity and your humility. And that's appealing to me. And I'm here for you, whatever you need. And we've already, I got some checks in my pocket. We've raised about $3,500 since I left San Diego, but my goal is to raise over $100,000. And I will say to the viewers that while I'm here on the roof, I'm gonna match every donation to $50,000.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We appreciate it. Let me ask you this: what causes you to want to help Project H.O.O.D, and not just Project H.O.O.D, but people in general? Because I think a lot of times, one of the things you just said I want to just talk about just for a little while is that, people, it's easy for people to sit back. All across the country, people are sitting back doing nothing.
Yeah.
And they're watching and they're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Why is it so important that we get involved, that we do something, that there are people who are struggling, that we gotta get in there and help? All across America, we gotta help.
Yeah. Well, I lived in LA for 17 years, and I lived through the Rodney King riots.
Mm-hmm.
I lived through the O.J. Simpson murders, and then I left LA. I said, hey, this is rough stuff. And I moved back to San Diego, which is my hometown, which is a little softer, a little quieter, a little less graffiti, a little less razor wire protecting signs, and less murders, quite frankly. And when I was sitting on my roof during the Rodney King riots, the plumes of smoke everywhere. And the closest building that burned was about 6 miles from my house. And we talked about being numb from murder.
Yeah.
Every Monday morning in the Los Angeles Times, there was a little column, local section, and it was a column about how many people lost their lives over the weekend due to gang violence. And it was anywhere from 2 to 20. I'd say on average maybe 7, maybe 8, maybe 10. And I said, I don't want to live in a city where murder is just a statistic. And I'm not going to live my life saying that, yes, this is a regular occurrence. This is happening about every 10 minutes. I don't know if it's going to be a police or a fire or an ambulance. We'll see here in a second. This is going right down South King Boulevard.
Yeah, this is a continual type of thing that we deal with all the time and all through the night, all through the day. So
Yeah, that's a
it's just
fire
a part of
truck.
life here.
That was a fire truck, so they probably an EMT on that truck.
Exactly.
Maybe somebody was shot, or maybe somebody had a heart attack. Who knows? But I was born on third base. Make no mistake about it. I was born in a middle class San Diego neighborhood. My parents stayed together, and I want to give the type of life that I was given with a great education. I went to public schools through 12th grade, and then I went to private university, and I was fortunate to get a little honorarium, little scholarship to go, and I want to help as many people as I can to get the kind of life that I had. And I know that in the inner city, there's some desperate people, and there's some people that aren't getting a good education.
Absolutely.
And that's tragic.
Absolutely. There's a lot of stuff going on that I believe that all of us can help. That's one of the reasons why I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're participating. I'm glad you're staying on the roof. I hope and pray that we'll bless you as you're blessing us. And
already happened.
Yeah.
In fact, it already happened before I left. I was in such great anticipation of coming out here, and I felt like the Blues Brothers. I was on a mission from God, and it didn't matter what Mother Nature threw at me. It didn't matter. And I said this to people. I said, there is nothing that you can say or do to keep me from coming to this roof.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I think our viewers, the people across America, are going to be inspired by the fact that you are so committed to trying to help us, and us being on this rooftop. I hope a lot of people are blessed and inspired to not just help us, but help anyone who's in need, wherever they may be. All of us can play a part.
Can I ask a final question?
Real quick.
All right. Are people so moved that they're going to go to Project H.O.O.D.org and make a donation? That's what I'd like to know.
We'll see. We'll see. I will say this, that, we've been blessed, and Fox has gave us a tremendous platform, and people from all across America. I've met wonderful people from Philadelphia, South Carolina, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, the South, Georgia, Florida, has really been a blessing to us. Places that you would think would not be a blessing to the South Side of Chicago.
I came through 8 states, and very few people I mentioned what I was doing, and they go, there's some pastor on some roof I heard about, and obviously it was through Fox. They said, is that the guy you're going? Yeah, that's the guy. Then some people were saying, I've heard of this guy, so it's really cool.
It's a blessing. So thanks for coming.
Sure.
And we got a couple more days with you here, and thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
As I always say, America, thank you. Thanks, Fox, for giving me this opportunity. I am so grateful and thankful. And every single day, I tell you, God bless you. God bless America. And until tomorrow, Rooftop Revelations. Peace.